Welcome on into another episode, Getting Well with Terry and Friends, Trends and Betting Picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate. Of course, we've got a smaller, as usual, card of MLB games on Thursday. We'll get to the power rankings for the CFL after week 3, and then, of course, break down tonight's CFL game. But we'll start the show, as we usually do, taking a look back at what happened on the last show. I just put the last 2 days all together here in the recap. So we'll break down what happened the last 2 days. Guardians money line, a nice dog winner against the Baltimore Orioles. Tuesday, Quan over 1.5 bases lost. Phillies money line, surprising loss there against Detroit. Harper over 1.5 bases. He got 6. So a nice win there. Over 9 in Toronto, Boston. A nice win there. No home run by Vladdy, but we got 4 RBIs, just needed 1. No Jaron Duran RBI. Spencer Steer over 1.5 bases. We got 3. Atlanta money line was a void. So was Austin Riley over 1.5 bases and the home run. Of course, because of a rain out, those were all voids. Josh Smith over 1.5 bases and Wyatt Langford over 1.5 bases, both lost. Those two hot players have cooled off. Josh Smith RBI was a winner, plus 188. Langford RBI was a loser, plus 205. The Minnesota Twins, such a close game, losing 5-4 to the Arizona Diamondbacks. Royce Lewis over 1.5 bases loss and RBI loss. Lewis has officially gone cold for the first time this season. Byron Buxton over 1.5 bases plus 170 was a nice winner. He had 7. Mitch Garver over, and then going to yesterday's slate, Garver home run, unfortunately a loss. Garver RBI as well, a loss. Bryce Harper over 1.5 bases, a loss. Home run, loss. Phillies run line, a nice premium winner, a 6-2 win there. Austin Riley over 1.5 bases. He got 2, a winner there. No home run, sadly. Braves money line, a winner there. I went right back to it. Yes, it got rained out Tuesday, but went right back to it Wednesday. And the Braves took care of business. Rhys Hoskins RBI, unfortunately a loser. Ward over 1.5 bases, a winner. No home run by Ward. Moniak RBI, winner at plus 180 there. Ramirez, loser over 1.5 bases, no home run either. Only 1 base by Westberg. And then the Toronto game was void because of a rain delay and then suspending the game. And then Buxton props lost. So overall, the last couple of days we're down 1.09 units. So could be a lot worse, but could be better. And that's what we'll try to do today on today's slate. Jump into the chat here. Good day, all. Smash a like. Yes, that would be much appreciated. Terry, ... Hello, Nicholas. Ugly MLB slate today. Plug your nose type of day. Not 1, but 2. Minus 300 favorites in MLB. Well, yeah, you just pass or bet player props. I'm not sure if I have a player prop in either of those games. Kepler and Lewis in Minnesota are officially cold. Yes, it's going to happen sometimes. MLB minus 300 lines are total scams. One of those teams either lose or don't cover their own line. Well, there you go. Don't know if I'd necessarily call it a scam, but yeah. We'll go on along to today's slate here and start with the very first game of the day, which is between the Minnesota Twins and their Arizona Diamondbacks. The Twins will be starting their number 1 pitching prospect, David Festa, in this game, who 3-2 in AAA this season, 3.77 ERA. He pitched 59.2 innings and had 87 strikeouts. He is a strikeout pitcher. A lot of success in AAA with the strikeouts. And I haven't got too many strikeout props this year, but we're going to go with Festa here over 4.5, which I got for plus 120 bet 365. That's a great plus price. Just needing him to get 5 strikeouts. We'll see if he can keep his um, strikeout ability going here in the majors after doing it in the minors. Um, Looking at the other side for Arizona is Jordan Montgomery, who had a very rough start to the season. Of course, signing a little bit late here with Arizona Diamondbacks, but he's won 3 starts in a row against the Angels, the White Sox, and then most impressively against the Philadelphia Phillies in his last start. Still giving up between 4 to 6 hits, 2 to 3 earned runs. Of course, he didn't give up any runs against the White Sox, but um, a lot of teams are shutting out the White Sox. So shutting out the White Sox is nothing to be impressed about. But Montgomery has been pitching better. Ultimately, that kept me off the Twins here. I do lean with the Twins in this game, but ultimately didn't get to it. We do have a half unit on the over 4.5 strikeouts for David Festa. And then when it comes to other player props, Carlos Santana has great numbers against Montgomery. 3 doubles and a home run. He's got multiple bases in 6 of 10. So he does have great games, but then some games also where he just gets a single. So ultimately staying off. Didn't go to Buxton props again today after yesterday, passing there. And then Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Didn't get to his props either for Arizona. So with the early game, my only play is the over 4.5 strikeouts with Mr. Festa here. Twins minus 104. I'd lean that way. I would. Twins pitching is questionable, and Arizona will bounce back after getting embarrassed. Maybe, maybe. Twins smash left-handed pitchers, and yes, I've heard this. I saw this from someone else on Twitter. Twins versus lefties have been really good recently. Monty going to get lit up and smoked. I can see that. It's just the Twins, Lewis, of course, is kind of slowing down. But just as Lewis is starting to slow down, there's other players that are picking up the slack. So, yeah, I can see the Twins hitting. I don't like how well Montgomery's played lately. Ultimately, that's kept me off here in this game. Also, early Thursday afternoon games have not gone well this season. It's been something that I've noticed. So I'm just kind of going lower volume with the early games on today's slate. Chicago Cubs and the San Francisco Giants here in our second game. On the mound for the Cubs is Shota Amanga. What are we going to get from him? He was basically perfect all season long, then faced the Milwaukee Brewers, gave up 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs. Then he had 3 starts in a row where he only gave up 1 to 2 earned runs. He did give up 5 runs against the White Sox, but 4 of them were unearned. So he had 3 really much better starts after that. Then, of course, in his most recent start against the Mets, 3 innings, 11 hits, 10 earned runs, 3 home runs. So with Amanga, I think it's more of a live bet. He's more of a live bet pitcher because either he's going to come out and have a great game and he's going to shut everyone down, or he's going to come and get lit up. And if you start to see San Francisco scoring some runs on him, then maybe the best way to bet this game is to live bet San Francisco on a run line of some kind. Because he either has it or he doesn't have it. And I'm just not interested in guessing how that's going to be today. So ultimately, this game was an easy pass. The hottest hitters for the Cubs aren't all that hot. 1 for 3, 1 for 6 against Jordan Hicks. And then Ramos, one of the only hot players for the Giants right now, has been cooling off as well. he hasn't faced a manga, and like I said, who knows what we're going to get from him. So ultimately, this was a very easy pass for me on today's slate. Last three outings, Imanaga. Not sure what you're trying to say, but okay. Lean Cubbies. Lean nothing for me. Easy pass on today's slate. The Atlanta Braves are heading to the White Chicago to face the White Sox. Now, of course, as you guys are mentioning, minus 300 favorites. Technically, they're only minus 287, and technically, both minus 300s are now no longer minus 300s at some spots. The Braves minus 287, White Sox plus 270 here in this game. And it looks like Chad Kuhl will be starting for the White Sox here in this game. He's played in 3 games, 6.75 ERA in 8 games. And there was that he's had a couple rough seasons. Last year with Washington, 0-4 with an 8.45 ERA. With Colorado in 2022, he had some really, really great games. And he was a pitcher that we were backing, or I was backing at a nice plus prices. And then, of course, everything went to shit the rest of the season. So, since that miracle stretch of games that he won in 2022, things have not gone well for him. Since then, now he gets to start against this Atlanta Braves team, who did just play 2 games yesterday. However, they're now facing the White Sox, and that's basically kind of what do you even really consider it a game? Because this White Sox team continues to get shut out, continues to play awful baseball, 21-61 on the season. Looking at this game here, when it comes to props, uh, ultimately, I'm not getting to anything. Now, that was because I wasn't aware of the pitcher that was on the mound. Now that I'm seeing it's going to be Chad Kuhl, that kind of might change my opinion here. That also means that all these at bats first pitcher are now gone, because I'm sure these guys do have at bats first the pitcher. I'll have to look it up against Chad Kuhl, but for show purposes, no plays for me here. I do lean with Kalenic, but of course I'll have to go and look at his numbers versus Chad Kuhl. Chad Kuhl obviously just announced more recently. They had a different pitcher listed earlier, so I don't know what happened there. Albie's kind of going cool. He's cooled off. Travis Deneau's cooled off. So if you're looking at players for Atlanta, I'd look at Riley or Kalenic, which I may end up getting to against Chad Kuhl. For the White Sox, Andrew Vaughn, their hottest hitter, hits in 19 of his last 24, but multiple bases in 2 of 6, RBI in 2 of 6. That's not good when that's your hottest hitter on your team, is Andrew Vaughn. So Braves should take care of business here, especially with Chris Sale on the mound. But to bet the Braves, you'd have to go with the -2.5, a -110. Ultimately, this is a game from a side perspective I'm staying off of. No reason to bet this game, except maybe look at props. Terrible spot for Atlanta. Doubleheader, 1 game in Chicago, then heading home for the weekend. White Sox first 5 in full game. See, it could be a terrible spot after the doubleheader, but still, they're facing the White Sox. There's absolutely no way I would put my money on the White Sox against the Braves. 2 completely different teams. Doubleheader and then travel versus the lowly White Sox. The Lions should not be so juiced. Maybe, but that doesn't mean the White Sox are going to win. Kalenic props I'll play. Kalenic and Sale will carry the first 5. Yeah, most likely. I don't know. Obviously, tough to bet the Braves here, but no way in hell am I taking the White Sox against the Braves. Maybe I would take the White Sox against Colorado or something if there was a reason to, but not against the Braves. Not against the Braves. Miami Marlins are facing. Who are they facing? I can't even remember. The Philadelphia Phillies, of course. Facing the Phillies here. Zach Wheeler on the mound for the Phillies. Trevor Rogers on the mound for the Marlins. Rogers has pitched better recently, but having said that, he's still 1-8 on the season with a 4.90 ERA. Zach Wheeler 9-4 with a 2.73 ERA. Wheeler has been fantastic at home. 6-2 with a 1.66 ERA and 9 home starts. He's had much more trouble on the road. 3-2 with a 4.35 ERA. So his ERA is more than cut in half at home. He's done very well there and gets to face this Miami Marlins offense. Looking at this game here, some of these Marlins players actually have had a little bit of success against Wheeler. De La Cruz 4 for 16, all singles. Jesus Sanchez 6 for 15, one double. Josh Bell 13 for 40, two doubles, 4 home runs. So if you are someone that likes Miami in this game, you might want to look at Josh Bell props because he has had some success and, of course, some extra base hits as well against Wheeler. For me, when it comes to the Phillies, we're going to go with Nick Castellanos over 1.5 bases for a half unit. Yes, he's only done it in 4 of his last 9 games, but 4 for 8 with the home run against Trevor Rogers. So we'll take him here to get multiple bases. I'm not going to go with Bohm. I'm not going to go with Trey Turner. I'm not going to go with Harper. We're just going to stick with Castellanos here in this game. Sale over 18 outs plus 135. Okay. Nick likes Miami because he's probably hoping that the Mets can somehow catch the Phillies, which isn't going to happen. And yes, you're minus 300. You like to fade teams that are minus 300. But what price should this Phillies team be against the Marlins? I think they deserve to be minus 300 favorites against the Marlins, especially with Chris Sale on the mound. So I don't think it's wrongly priced at all. No thanks, Tim. Yeah, that's not Tim, that's Nick. But yeah, easy to get them confused. Phillies -1. Want to talk you off it? Would not talk you off it here. I'm not afraid to back minus 300 favorites. Of course, as long as the price is somewhat decent. Texas Rangers heading to Baltimore to face the Orioles here in this game. On the mound for Texas is John Gray, 3-3 with a 3.03 ERA on the season. His last start against the Kansas City Royals was great. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. The game before that against the Mets, 11 hits, 9 earned runs over 3 innings. Before that against the Dodgers, again, he only went 3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. So it's kind of tough to tell what we're going to get from John Gray in this game. Now, of course, looking at that start against the Kansas City Royals, the Royals have not been playing well recently. So maybe you can look at that as being a reason why he had so much success there against the Royals. Corbin Burns on the mound for Baltimore. He 8-3 in the season with a 2.35 ERA. Is coming off his worst start of the season. 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Or actually, I think it's his worst start of the season. 5 hits, 4 earned runs, over 7 innings and a loss against the Houston Astros. So is coming off a bad game. Now facing the Texas Rangers. Both of these players were hot, but not so much anymore. Not so much anymore. Neither of them have faced Burns, but looking at this here, I do expect a bounce back game from Corbin Burns. Unfortunately, the price with the Orioles in this game, you'd have to go with the run line here in this game if you wanted to back them. For me, we're looking at Baltimore props. And yes, Gunnar Henderson went cold a little bit there, but his last three games, he's got multiple bases in all three, RBIs in back to back games, and a home run in back to back games. Still has a hit in 24 of his last 27. So when he did go cold, it was just because he was getting a single and that was it. But now he's heating up again. 2 for 6 with the home run against Gray. We'll take Henderson over 1.5 bases for a half unit and also a quarter unit on the home run here. Santander, who has great games, home run in 6 of his last 12 games. But he's 0 for 6 against Gray. So not interested in taking his props. Rutschman is 4 for 6 with the home run against Gray. So he's definitely had success against him. But multiple bases in 5 of his last 10. Rutschman is kind of up and down this season. Westberg seems to hit well when I don't bet him recently. But no. There's just that one game I didn't bet him. And of course, he had 3 hits there. But multiple bases in 4 of his last 7. We'll stay off Westberg here. We're just going to go with Henderson. Gunnar Henderson has made us a lot of money this season. So we'll go to him here in this game against the Texas Rangers. Either Atlanta or Philly goes down early, and then the line will be more affordable. Yeah, if they go down. They go down, yeah. Terry, I like your shirt. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, I just got it. I like it too. It's a really nice blue color. I know I've had so many blue shirts, so I'm glad this one is a little bit of a different color blue. Lean Orioles run line. Yeah, me too. Oh, my bad. At ESB, hello, Nick. Yes, I'm sure Nick forgives you. I'm sure it's not the first time he's been called Tim. I'm sure that happens quite often. New York Yankees are heading to Toronto to face the Toronto Blue Jays here. Of course, I was on the over 9.5 yesterday. And after the first inning, obviously nobody scored. And I was kind of thinking maybe we were going to get a lower scoring start of the game at least. And then out of nowhere, it started pouring rain and never stopped. So luckily, all the props, all the bets were void. So no harm, no foul. But now Toronto back home against this Yankees team. This Yankees team that is struggling, which is a bit surprising. Um, Basically, the Yankees um, didn't have really any adversity for a good portion of the season. So far against the Blue Jays this season, it's tied 3-3. So the Jays won 2 of 3 most recent games in Toronto between the teams. The Jays were on a losing streak, ended that against Boston, a 9-4 win. And the New York Yankees here, as I bring it up, 6, 7, 8, 9. They've lost 9 of their last 12 games, which is kind of surprising for the New York Yankees. And they've lost 6 of their last 7. Now, Baltimore, Atlanta, and the Mets, and then Boston before that. Not really easy teams to play against, that's for sure. Boston's been playing well. The Orioles are the Orioles. Braves have been heating up lately. The Mets have been red hot since the whole Grimace thing. And Toronto has been more, obviously, just broke their losing streak. So seeing the Yankees at minus 133 is a bit interesting here. Ultimately, I'm not getting to his side. I have no interest in backing the Blue Jays. But the Yankees have not been playing well recently. And this just the way the Jays offense has been recently, which is good. Surprisingly, their whole issue all season long have been offense, but it's been the pitching during this losing streak. It hasn't been the offense whatsoever. They have been scoring runs. So we're going to look at player props here. Anthony Volpe, 2 for 7 with a double against Brios. We're not going to touch that. But Aaron Judge, home run in 11 of his last 23 games. 12 for 29 against Barrios, two doubles and four home runs. Barrios definitely can give up home runs. Judge can hit home runs. So taking him for a quarter unit, I believe it was plus 220. We'll get to that at the recap at the end of the show for the exact price I got it at. But quarter unit on Judge home run is never a bad play. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., we're taking him for a home run as well for a quarter unit and over 1.5 bases for a half unit. He's 4 for 6 against Rodon. So he's definitely liked facing Carlos Rodon. Of course, all four were singles. So he's yet to hit a home run off him, but today's a great day for that to happen. Spencer Horwitz, Ernie Clement, not getting to either of their props right now. Basically, it's the Vladdy show recently. He's been heating up. And I saw something earlier that the Houston Astros want Vladdy. I really hope he doesn't go there, but hey, I'm sure Nick would love that to see Vladdy go to Houston. But Judge, Vladdy props, no side, no total. We'll pass on this one. I would lean with the over, but especially with Rodon, his last two starts, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 walks against Boston, 11 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 walks against Atlanta. So he has kind of got torched in his last 2 starts. So this one will be a player prop game, which I'll probably be watching, and we'll just see what happens. Yankees minus 135. Nice bounce back spot after being swept by the Grimace Mets. Maybe, but it's not like they just had those 2 bad games against the Mets and that's it. They've been not winning games for quite a bit recently. So I don't know. Yankees' depleted hitting lineup has made them vulnerable. I can agree with that. Blue Jays bullpen is the problem. Yeah, well, great for overs. But we will continue on along with our next game, which is the Cincinnati Reds, who are facing the St. Louis Cardinals here. Andrew Abbott on the mound for the Reds. Miles Mikolas on the mound for the St. Louis Cardinals in this game. And right off the bat, we're taking Jonathan India props. He has a hit in 8 games in a row. Home run in 1 of his last 5. Will go a quarter unit on the home run and then a half unit on over 1.5 bases. He's got multiple bases in 7 of his last 8 games. He's been playing great baseball for the Reds recently. And if you look at what he's done against Miles Mikolas, he's 6 for 19 with 3 home runs. 3 home runs, 3 singles during that his at-bats against Mikolas. So we'll take him for the quarter unit on the home run, half unit on over 1.5 bases. Ellie De La Cruz was on a 4-game streak where he was great. Didn't get anything yesterday. We'll see if he can bounce back here. 2 for 8 with a double against Mikolas, so not interested there. Spencer Steer, who we have cashed on recently, again, he also didn't do anything yesterday. He's 4 for 9. All singles, but 4 for 9 against Mikolas. Ultimately, I'm not going to pull the trigger on Steer props. Just I'd prefer if a couple of those hits were doubles, and then maybe I would go for it. But don't need to jump on a ton of props today. Yammer Candelero, he's been cooling off. 1 for 4 at the double. Won't touch him there. Brendan Donovan, one of the games yesterday, he didn't get a hit. Of course, the St. Louis Cardinals also had to play a double header yesterday. Not getting to Donovan props, 2 for 5 with a double. I don't like to take props against Andrew Abbott. Abbott is a pitcher that 6-6 with a 3.40 ERA, but he's got a lot of potential in future years. Not someone I want to take props against right now. Burleson 0 for 3 against him. So ultimately, we're just going to stick with Jonathan India here, who's been playing great baseball recently. Reds plus 120. I can see that. Toronto first 5 money line in the last game we were talking about. Yeah, I think Rios would get the advantage pitching wise right now. I could agree with that. WNBA Dallas plus 10. Best of luck. I know absolutely nothing about the WNBA, so good luck. Gonna go back and watch the show. Thank you as always, Terry. I cashed multiple home run props yesterday. Might keep it late today, not test my luck again. Yeah, hey, I've got some home run props today, but yesterday didn't go quite as well as I'd like, especially for the home run props for me, anyways. But glad you cashed. Thanks, Terry in chat. Remember, retweet and repost. Yes, appreciate it. He has been better recently. Yes, he has. And that's why I'm not overloading on props. But India is hot right now and has had success against him, and that's what we like to do: is play guys who are hot now and have had success against the pitcher they're facing. And of course, the doubleheader for the Cardinals doesn't help them. That's for sure. Especially defensively, it doesn't help having to play 2 games. Cleveland Guardians are next up, facing the Kansas City Royals here in this game. Ben Lively on the mound for the Guardians, Michael Waka on the mound for the Royals. Jose Ramirez starting to cool off the last couple of games. He's 1 for 8 against Waka. Stephen Kwan 0 for 3 against Waka. Kwan also starting to cool off. Will Brennan starting to cool off as well. Bo Naylor hasn't faced Waka before. But this Guardians team overall has been playing great baseball. Just won a series against the Orioles, and they've been playing great. Kansas City Royals on the other side, it's basically Bobby Witt Jr. or nothing. The Royals have not been playing so great lately, losing a good portion of their games recently. But Bobby Witt Jr., multiple bases in 3 games in a row, he's starting to heat up a little bit, which the Royals definitely need here in this game. But ultimately, no props here in this one. I do have a premium play up on the site in this game, though. Does anyone have a 2-player anytime hit parlay to suggest? Um, well, that would be definitely something to use the spreadsheet here for, and find 2 players on hit streaks that are facing bad pitchers. That's what I would recommend. But I don't have any parlays today myself. Is this our last game? Yes, it is. Before we get to the CFL game for tonight, the Detroit Tigers and the LA Angels here in this one. Jack Flaherty on the mound for Detroit. A rookie pitcher making his not his debut, or his season debut. Uh, but not not his season debut. Or yeah, he did pitch last year. I apologize. Davis Daniel for the Angels here. 1-1 with a 2.19 ERA in 3 starts last year, making his season debut here. Not sure how he's going to do. Ultimately, Jack Flaherty has been great for the Tigers. And as well as Taylor Ward is playing right now. He's 1 for 1 against Flaherty, but I just don't want to take any player props against Flaherty right now. He's been pitching great for Detroit, so I would lean with Taylor Ward if you wanted to look at props in this game. Not getting to anything else. Moniak RBI cash for us last night at a nice plus price. Bases were loaded, and then did Moniak get hit? Yeah, Moniak got hit. So that cashed the RBI, which was a bit surprising. But yeah, that was a nice winner there. But yeah, this game ultimately not getting to anything here. Henderson and Judge, Kalenic and Soto. I would stay off Soto, and the issue with Judge is that, especially for hit parlays, is that he can get walked a lot at times, and that's the last thing you want when you have a hit parlay is someone getting walked a bunch. So I'm not sure. Your spreadsheet is spectacular. What's your Venmo or Patreon? I don't have either. No Venmo in Canada. Um, I probably should get set up. Probably should get PayPal or something set up. But on the live stream we did, Dave Picks from Dave was telling me that I can turn on the tip option on the channel, so I might go that route. I might look at trying to turn the tip option on, so people can tip if they wish. Henderson and Castellanos. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Not a popular play. Halos plus 140. I don't. I don't really want to go against Flaherty, but Flaherty's not going to pitch the whole game. So best of luck. Under in the LA game. In this one here, yeah, I could lean that way. Just don't know what the Angels pitcher is going to do, so I'm not sure. Um, Please create a donation or tips option, sir. I definitely plan to when I can figure out how. Because originally I thought you had to have 1,000 subscribers to do that, but Dave tells me that's not true. So I'll have to figure it out. Terry, without giving away the secret sauce, do you manually do the spreadsheet, or is there somewhere we can access it? Anyone that wants to access the spreadsheet it's in the description below of the YouTube video. There's a link. I share the link out on Twitter sometimes as well. And yeah, everyone can access it to look at it. When it comes to doing the spreadsheet, yeah, I do everything manually. Type everything in, update the stats and stuff. So it is a lot of hard work, but it helps me and it helps everyone else. So I'll continue to do it. But yeah, if you want to look at the spreadsheet, it's in the description of the YouTube channel. So go and take a look there. Just realized we weren't on the MLB screen the whole time. Oops. And I had a feeling I was going to do that. And I was trying not to, and I still did anyway, but that's okay. I don't think people mind. 1,000 subs for ads in your videos. Yeah, for ad revenue, yeah. But I didn't know I could turn the tip option not having 1,000 subs, but apparently Dave told me I can. So I will have to figure that out for sure. But we will now go to the CFL. And of course, we will start with the power rankings here. And we'll see what's changed from last week. I have last week is obviously on the right side, and then on the left side, closer to me, is this week. So in ninth, I have the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Tiger Cats have the worst defense in the CFL. Bo Levi Mitchell throwing interceptions. Their best wide receiver can't catch balls right now. Things are just going as bad as they possibly can for the Tiger Cats right now. Now, the team that they happen to face this week, they've won 10 games in a row against the Ottawa Red Blacks. So obviously that'll be on Sunday night. So I won't cover that game, but the stats, because we don't do shows Sundays, but the stats will be in the spreadsheet there for that one. But right now, yeah, I have Hamilton Tiger Cats as ninth in the CFL. In eighth is Edmonton, the Edmonton Elks. Same spot they were in last week. They didn't play a bad game last week, but they're not finding ways to win games. They've yet to win a game. So I just can't justify moving them up right now. So they kind of stick at eighth spot. In seventh spot, making a drop down from last week, we got the Ottawa Red Blacks. Of course, losing 47 to 21, you're going to get a drop. A lot of interceptions in that game. Ottawa 1-1 in this season, so it's not the end of the world, but they do find themselves making a drop here. Now, in sixth, I do have this Calgary Stampeders, and I'll go up to fifth as well. I have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So basically, these three teams kind of switching spots. I struggle whether to put Calgary above Winnipeg. And of course, if we were to go back to the beginning of the season, I had Winnipeg ranked number one. Of course, it was very close. But this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team has had an awful season. Zach Collaros has yet to throw a touchdown pass 3 games in. Now, Winnipeg lost 26-24 last week against BC. BC, one of the top teams in the league, as we'll get to them later on when we get to the top of this power rankings here. So Winnipeg did play better, but still lost. So I moved them up a spot, but ultimately I struggle with if Calgary should be above them. Calgary off a bye last week, so they've only played 2 games. So I have to pick, and right now I'm going to keep Winnipeg slightly above Calgary. But of course, those two teams face each other this week, so we will see who belongs where after this week's game. Moving to fourth, Toronto Argonauts staying right where they are in fourth spot. Got the close win against Edmonton last week. Close win being the main words to look at there, but they stick where they are. Saskatchewan Roughriders stay in third, losing Trevor Harris during the game, and Patterson looked absolutely awful. Looked awful. But the Hamilton Tiger Cats were worse and could not capitalize on Trevor Harris getting injured. If Trevor Harris' injury was to be long-term, the Rough Riders would have plummeted down my power rankings. But they have the bye week this week, and it sounds like he should be good to go next week to play. So ultimately, the Rough Riders stay right where they are. Third, BC in second, which does mean Montreal's first. So not a lot of changes from last week. Things are kind of staying about the same here for me in the CFL from last week. Not a lot of movement in the power rankings, except Ottawa going down. Let's go up. Lots of work. We appreciate it, Terry. Repost the show daily. It helps. Yes. If you guys want to share it out on social media, I'd love that. Spreadsheet helped me yesterday, both the Indy Diaz players anytime hits parlay. There you go. And yeah, just because I'm not betting a game doesn't mean you guys can't. That's what the spreadsheet's there for. So good day all. Yes, you too, Kelly. Go Elks, join the herd. We'll be breaking that game down here in a second. Seattle Storm spread went from 8.5 this morning to 9.5. Seattle money line or -5 is a great parlay piece. There you go. There you go. But looking at today's game, I will bring it up here. We've got the Edmonton Elks and the BC Lions here in this game. Edmonton 0-3 on the season. They've covered +7.5 in 2 of their 3 games. They've gone under 52.5 in 2 of their 3 games, averaging 25.67 points per game, 30.33 against. BC 2-1 on the season so far, covering 7.5 and 1 of their 3 games. 2 of their last 3 have gone under 52.5. So both teams actually trending towards the under, surprisingly. BC averaging 26.33 points per game, allowing 25.33 against. And what has happened between these teams over the last few years? Well, Edmonton has got beat down. BC has won the last 7 meetings between the teams, all 7 by 8 or more points. 4 of the last 7 over 52.5, 3 went under, including 2 last year where Edmonton didn't score a point. They got shut out in 2 games against the BC Lions last year. So this is one of those opponents that Edmonton just does not want to face. And that's who they have to face this week. Now, this Edmonton Elks team has improved this season. Now they are 0-3, so it doesn't really look like they've improved, but they have. They have improved this season. Going to Edmonton props, McLeod Bethel Thompson, 2 of his 3 games, he went over 335.5 passing yards. So he's been a big reason why the Elks have improved this year, is getting consistent passing yards. Now, his prop is at, I believe, 305. So ultimately didn't get to it there. Kevin Brown, the Elks running back, has gone under 50 and a half in all three games this year. So his under prop would be a good look for Kevin Brown. Eugene Lewis, their top wide receiver in name only, I guess. He's gone under in back to back games, under 54 and a half. Curly Gibbons Jr., two of his last three, he's gone under 63 and a half. But you might be asking, well, Bethel Thompson's going over. How are all these receivers going under? And that's because Dylan Mitchell has been a ball hog. Had two of his last three games over 93 and a half receiving yards. Bethel Thompson has been passing to Mitchell. Mitchell's been his favorite target. So um, his receiving yards prop is at 68 and a half when he's gone over 93 and a half in two of his last three games. So half unit on the over 68 and a half receiving yards for Dylan Mitchell. And then I do lean with the under 50 and a half rushing yards for Kevin Brown. Have not got to an under prop yet, but I do lean with it. I do lean with it. Now, going to look at BC. Vernon Adams Jr. Is playing in this game, but is dealing with abdominal issues. So he's not 100%, but he is playing in this game. Edmonton has the second best pass defense in the CFL, but the second worst rush defense. The Edmonton Elks struggled with this last year where they can't stop the run. BC has been a pass heavy team the last few seasons, but getting William Stanback has really improved their running game. Stanback back to back games, at least 69 rushing yards. Hasn't got a touchdown yet. But his rushing yards prop is at 68 and a half, which, as I said, he's covered in back to back games. I've got a full unit, 1.14 units, because it's minus 114 at FanDuel. For that, that's my favorite play of the day, is stand back rush yards. A, because the Elks have a horrible rush defense, and B, Adams Jr. is dealing with something. So the run game is probably going to be looked at more here in this game. So I absolutely love stand back rushing yards here. Looking at the wide receivers here, both have gone over 90 receiving yards in all three games. Hollins, I believe, is 86 and a half or 87 for his receiving yards prop. So because it's kind of close to the 89 and a half, I ultimately decided to pass on him. But McInnes has gone at least 91 receiving yards in all three games. His total is at 76 and a half. So I did go with that for a half unit. Don't want to overload on props because Adams Jr. is dealing with something, but the fact that he's playing shows that it can't be too serious. So yeah, that's basically it. When it comes to the side and total, I don't have any premium plays in this game today. Reason being, don't want to take the under, not with the Elks defense and the improved Elks offense. Don't want to take the over because the Elks have really struggled scoring against this Lions team. I don't want to take Edmonton plus 7.5 because the Lions, the Elks call the Lions daddy. That's how it's been. Don't want to take the Lions minus 7.5 because I don't know exactly how Adams Jr. is doing. And if it is going to be a heavy run game, the Elks could very well cover the spread. So, really, the closest if I was going to get to something would be Lions team total over, but it's 30.5. So, ultimately, today, no side, no total. We're sticking with player props here in this game. Kalenic and Castellanos anytime hit, minus 104. I like it. Elks team total over 22.5, full game over 52.5. Elks overs will be a thing this season. We'll see. We'll see if the Elks can finally learn how to score against BC. because I haven't been able to last year. You haven't been having a favorite pick? Well, yeah, because a lot of my plays I like the same as everyone else or the same as the other ones. But the reason it's in gold means it's a full unit play. So most of my plays are only half unit plays, but it is a full unit play and it is my favorite play of the day. So yeah, that's why I mentioned it as my favorite play, just because, as I mentioned, the Elks, the rush defense, and then Adams' injury. It's kind of a perfect storm, in my opinion, for stand back rush yards. So that's why we're going with that. Premium plays on the site today. I've got two plays in MLB, two side or totals available on the site, both are in the description below. So you can go and get those if you wish. And that's it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Share out the show if you would like. I'd really appreciate it. And we will see you guys back here tomorrow for another episode. Getting Wild with Terry and Friends. Trends of Betting Picks. Best of luck tonight, everyone. Oh, okay. Never mind. Hold on a second. I just forgot. I forgot to do the recap. Good thing I remembered before I hit end stream button. I'm sorry, guys. Forgot to do the recap the other day, too. So there we go. We're not done yet. Hold your horses. Let me get here. Recap of today's plays. David Festa over 4.5 strikeouts, plus 120. Castellanos over 1.5 bases, plus 112. Henderson home run, plus 375. Henderson over 1.5 bases, minus 104. Judge home run, plus 220. Vladdy home run, plus 425. Vladdy over 1.5 bases, plus 130. Jonathan India home run, plus 700. India over 1.5 bases, plus 135. Dylan Mitchell over 68.5 receiving yards, minus 114. Justin McInnis over 76.5 receiving yards, minus 114. Stanback over 68.5 rushing yards, minus 114. And that is the end of the show. So thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys again tomorrow's show. Terry's awesome. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. But yeah, see you guys later. Have a good one, guys.